Hi, it's Coach Lloyd, 25-time Ironman and long course finisher, as well as a sub 3-hour marathoner. And I'm the first African American to finish an Ironman on all 6 continents, plus Kona World Championships. Today, we're here to talk about setting up your transition area. All right, there's a couple tricks you can use when setting up your transition area to just make it a little bit more efficient as you go through. The key is organizing. Take some time to lay everything out at home so you know exactly what you need to bring to transition on race day. So first off, you're gonna have your bag packed, all right? Pack it at home, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna roll it out and show you how to set it up as you go along. So when you roll into your transition area, you're just gonna open up your bag and you're gonna start and just roll out your towel. I like to get a towel, your most obnoxious looking towel, one that you're not gonna worry about too much, and that's easily identifiable. In the transition area, you're gonna have a limited amount of space to set your things up. So spread it out right next to your wheel and just lay it out there. I always like to pack my bag according to what I'm going to need first. That way, as soon as I open up my bag, I can get it. So once you lay out your towel, you're gonna now get all of your swim gear. All right, so whenever you go to your race, I always like to make sure I take at least a couple pairs of swim goggles with me. You're gonna have your swim cap as well. And let's see, where did I put my swim cap? All right, there it is. So you're gonna have your swim cap with you, your goggles, probably always good to have a couple pairs with you. You'd already show up with your tri-kit on and your timing chip attached. So set that aside. Next up is gonna be your bike gear. Got your helmet, pull your shoes out. Depending on what kind of race conditions you have, you may need some arm warmers that you're gonna need as well, so you bring those out. Got your shades. A couple places you can put your shades depending on the type of helmet you have. If there's an opening, you can kind of slide them right inside the opening of your helmet. You can also sometimes just put them in your shoes as a marker to hold them a little bit. It just depends on what works best for you. You just want to kind of keep everything in the same contained area. And then, of course, your socks. What I like to do is I like to make sure I open up my socks and set them up already in my shoe so that they're good to go. All right. So the way I have it set up here is this half of my towel is set up for the bike. So everything that I am gonna need for the bike is laid out right here so that I can see it and it's clear as day. Next thing is you always wanna have an extra spare towel, all right? If you're not at home, you can grab one from your hotel, take it with you, make sure you return it. If you're at home, just bring one that you don't care too much about. Having an extra towel there just so that coming out of the swim, you may wanna dry off a little bit, or after the bike, you might wipe things down, but it's really good and handy to have one. Same thing with the extra water bottle, all right? You already have the ones that you're gonna use on your bike for the course on your bike, but it's good to have an extra bottle of water right there in transition in case you wanna take a sip coming off of the swim, or if you just wanna rinse your feet off a little bit more before you put your shoes on. Next up, we're gonna start to get ready for the run. Get your shoes out, your run cap. You're gonna have your race belt so that it's right there with your bib attached. And then you're gonna start to get your nutrition ready. So I usually like to pack all of my nutrition in a bag that I can just kind of carry along with me. All right, you're gonna have your nutrition for the bike as well as the run. And you're just going to kind of pack all the things that you're going to want. Some of you like to do gels. Some of you like to do solids. Some of you take all of your calories via liquid. Either way, but if you're going to take some solids, pack them in a bag so that you have them all. And then you can just kind of lay them out according to when you plan to use them. All right, just brought a couple samples of things that you may find in your bag, whether it's going to be the solids or the gels. All right, some of you like having a little bit of salt with you, so you can have a small container to hold some salt with you as you're out on the course. Now, a couple extra things you want to make sure that you take with you is make sure that you've got some sort of lubricant, whether it's your Body Glide, Vaseline, 2-Toms, something like that when you get ready for the swim, as well as the bike and the run. So you can kind of put those out in your area as you go. Now, here's a couple tips that you want to consider when setting it up. So for example, baby powder. Baby powder is a great item to kind of throw just a little splash of it in your shoes so that even though you dry your feet off a little bit, they may still be a little bit moist. So having a little bit of baby powder inside of the shoe kind of helps absorb that moisture. Be careful not to throw in a whole lot of it, or it'll just kind of get caked up inside of the shoe, which is something you don't want. Now, the key to this whole setup and this format is to make it easier for you to come in and out of transition. Now that you have your transition set up in 2 parts, this is how you'd clear it out. So as soon as you came out of the swim, you run into T1, you'd run up and you'd look down at your setup, and you would look and you would take everything on this side of your towel with you. So you'd make sure that your shoes are gone. You'd put your helmet on, make sure you don't start to ride without it. Put your shades on. Whatever nutrition you have, place it in your pocket so that it's there for you. If you need to, go ahead and slide on your arm warmers. And now, when you look down, before you leave T1, you'll notice that your entire section for your bike area is cleared. If for some reason you look down and you were to see something laying in transition, you know that you forgot something that you need for the bike. So you'd make sure you grab it and you're good. That way it's not all cluttered and you're trying to figure out what you need. Everything, when you look down, is clear. You're good to go. You run out of transition, jump on your bike, and you offer an amazing bike. Fast forward, you finished, you've had a great bike, you're coming into T2, you dismount, you put your helmet and your shoes back, everything comes off here, and now you move over to the run section. All right, you're gonna throw your shoes on, grab your race belt, put it on, take your running hat or your visor, put it on, grab your nutrition, stick it in your pocket, and you're off running out of T2. And you notice here, everything is gone again. So if you look down in transition and you see that, my race bib is still there, you know you forgot something that you need, so you make sure you grab it, or your visor, your hat, whatever it is, you make sure that that section is completely cleared before you head out for the run. All right, so you head on out to your run, you're off, you're having a great day, and now the race is over. Now, before we wrap up with you completely finishing the race, you've crossed the finish line, here's a little tip for those of you who like to speed through your transition area. This is what we call a to-go bag. So with a to-go bag, the way you speed up your T2 time is, instead of having all of your nutrition, your hat, those types of things laying loose on your towel, you can place them all in a gallon-size Ziploc bag. So you put your hat, your nutrition, your bib, anything that you're gonna need on the run, you put that in your Ziploc bag, and now you place it in transition. So the way that works is, after you come out of when you run into T2, when you look down, you're gonna take your shoes, put them on, and then you're just gonna grab this entire bag as you run out of T2 onto the run course. Now, when you're on the run course, somewhere in the first mile or so, or as you're running out of transition with your to-go bag in your hand, all you do is open up your bag, and as you're running, you take your bag, you open it up, and you start putting things away. So you'll have your race bib, you put on your race bib on the run, you'd grab your hat, you'd place it on as you're going through. All the nutrition that you have out on the course, you'll put it in your pocket. And then when you're all done, first aid station you get to, you throw away your bag. That way you don't spend any time wasted standing around trying to get dressed in transition or fill up in that area. Everything is kind of on the go. But that's a more of an advanced tip. If you just want to cut down a few minutes of your time hanging out in transition, go ahead and try that. So now that you've finished the race, you've got all of your gear sitting right here on the table. Make sure you always pack some post-race clothes, flip-flops, shorts, t-shirts, something just to get more comfortable after your race. Now it's time to put everything away. And this is similar to how you would have set it up when you were at home getting ready. Whatever you don't need, you start off with the last thing and put that in first. So if you take your shoes off, you start off packing your shoes in. They go in at the bottom. If you decide to do your to-go bag, you can put everything back into a bag if you have one, or whatever extra nutrition you didn't need on the course, you throw it on back into your carry container. Put that in. You got your extra towel that you use that you are finished with, making sure that if it was from the hotel, you're making sure that you return it. Taking off your arm warmers, your shades, your shoes. Those go all in. Take your helmet. Your swim gear. And then you just roll your towel right back up. And you're ready to walk right back out of transition the same way that you started the race day. So that's just a couple tips on how to set up your transition area, how to map it out so it's in sections so that you know where everything is and it's easy to see what's left and what needs to go with you on the run, as well as a nice to-go option for T2. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up, leave us a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.